my channel. Today I have a bit of a different video for you. I wanted to share my story as part of the Smiley Challenge. So if you haven't heard of the Smiley Challenge, it was a challenge created by Athena Cacao, Hattie Vanderkron and Lisa Kitsch, and it stands for Sewing Makes You Love Yourself, and it is a challenge about how sewing helps things like mental health and also body confidence. So I have loved watching everybody's videos up until this point already, and yeah, I was actually asked to be an ambassador of this challenge, but because I have already a lot going on this year, I couldn't take up their offer on that. However, I did still want to participate in this challenge because I think it's a really fantastic challenge and a great way to bring awareness to how sewing is so amazing, the benefits of sewing and what it can do for you. As part of the challenge, you make a garment that makes you feel beautiful, and then you can share your own stories about how sewing has helped you on YouTube or Instagram or Facebook or your blog. So I have decided to share my story via YouTube, so I hope you guys enjoy. This is a chatty vlog, so if you are not interested in listening to me talk for probably about 10 minutes, then click out now. Also, just a quick heads up, Bailey is wandering around the house. For some reason she won't sit still today, and it's probably because it's 40 degrees. So I do apologise if you can hear her in the back. Okay, so I'm going to start off with my sort of story of sewing and what sewing has done for me first, and then I'll show you what I'm wearing, which is my Smiley Challenge dress that I have made. So if you have been following me for a while, you guys will probably already know a little bit about my mental health story from this side of things. It's something I've been a little bit more open about in the last couple of years, and I think that has really helped me to work through things and for people to understand why I do things certain ways, or why I don't go to things sometimes. And yeah, I think it's been really great to be open about that sort of thing. So I actually started sewing when I was really little. My grandma and my mum both sewed clothes for us when we were younger, and my grandmother had a sewing box for my sister and I. When we went to visit her, we would just sew with little scraps and stuff like that. She also let us use her sewing machine, which was really awesome. I probably was always the more craftier one. I did some knitting, I did cross stitch, so of my sister and I definitely took more on board and have followed through with all of the crafty stuff that Grandma has taught us. So yeah, I did that when I was little, and then went to school, went to high school and all that sort of stuff. And when I was in year 12, I didn't realise that at the time, but I was suffering from anxiety. And it is something that a lot of teenage girls do go through, especially in the last year of school, because it is a very hard and stressful year and there's a lot of pressure on you to do well. And I ended up not doing as well as what I would have hoped. And I did get a little bit down about that as well. So I experienced panic attacks, I just felt really nauseous all the time, I didn't go to a lot of social things. So yeah, it definitely did really impact me and changed me as a person, definitely. I've always probably been an anxious person, an anxious kid. I always had stomach aches when I was little and everything, so I think it's always been there, but yeah, it does really impact you when it's happening in your prime teenage years. So yeah, fast forward a couple of years and I had been feeling okay, but then I had a couple more panic attacks that were actually quite bad, and my anxiety kind of crept back in, and so probably since then I have been dealing with it. It wasn't until I had my second lot of panic attacks, I think, that anybody said anything to me about anxiety. Nobody had ever mentioned the word anxiety before, and I'd like to thank my yoga instructor who actually mentioned those words to me, and yeah, started me on a little journey to getting better. So it's always something that's been there, it's something that I still deal with every day. It's not an easy thing to deal with, but there are strategies, and you can only but help yourself. So in terms of sewing, my mum suggested to me probably 6 years ago when I was struggling quite bad with anxiety that I might like to get into some crafts. So initially I took up knitting again, as it's something I'd done with my grandma. So that was really cool. I knitted a few things and I did feel better. It's definitely a distraction. And then my grandmother passed her sewing machine on to me when she moved into a nursing home, and that was a really big deal for me because I have 18 cousins, so for her to choose me out of all of them to have her sewing machine was really special. I'm really the only one that sort of sews, so it was a no-brainer, but it was still really nice that she passed that on to me. So yeah, she passed that on to me, and then I started just sewing some little things like cushion covers and stuff, and then I started sewing clothes. So my Cocoa top from Tilly and the Buttons was one of the first pieces of clothing I ever sewed, and I just loved it. It definitely helped with my anxiety. It gave me a distraction. If you're doing things with your hands, so it's really good for your brain. It's really good for all that sort of stuff. So it's something that I've been doing since then. And I have noticed a massive difference with it with my anxiety. I know that if I don't do sewing for a while, I do notice my mood gets really down. So the past 6 months, because I've been working on my virtual assistant business, I haven't really sewn at all. And I have noticed that I'm not as centered and I'm not as focused, and I'm a lot more stressed if I'm not sewing. Sewing is still stressful. Obviously it's not something that's necessarily that easy, and I do get annoyed with it sometimes, but overall it has been an absolutely amazing way for me to help overcome my anxieties and be a little bit more confident with talking about my anxiety as well. So yeah, that's kind of like the anxiety side of my story. Like I said, I still have it, I still deal with it every day, but I'm much more open to it, and having sewing as an outlet is amazing. So the second little part of my story, I guess, is confidence. So I have a couple of different things here. I have definitely noticed that I am much more confident as a person, and that's not just from sewing, that's from doing YouTube, that's from having a blog, that's from putting myself out there on Instagram. So the sewing community in general has definitely been so encouraging, which has made me a much more confident person than what I was maybe 3 or 4 years ago. And I think people like in my actual life have noticed this as well. But yeah, doing YouTube has been the best thing because it has made me so much more confident. I look back on my old videos now and it's pretty funny, but to have the guts to put yourself out there online is a pretty big deal. I have friends and people who I know who are very, very confident in real life, but they would never put themselves behind a camera and upload something to YouTube. So, and it's really interesting. I feel like us as crafters, we are kind of a little bit more introverted. We are, that sort of more calm personality, like quieter. But, we're the ones who are willing to put ourselves out there, so I think that's truly incredible. So yeah, from a confidence point of view, sewing has been amazing. And obviously I feel really good when I am wearing garments. So I'm going out for dinner tonight, and I actually made this dress for the dinner, and it just turned into the dress that I'm going to use for this video because I love it so much. But by making this dress, it has actually made me less anxious about going out for dinner because I'm in something that I love. I really want to show off my new garment, and yeah, in that sense, from a confidence point of view, making my own clothes has been amazing. The other thing is body confidence, which is obviously a huge deal. I was watching Sarah from Like So Amazing's video, and I totally agree with her on her body confidence comments. I am small, I am petite, I have always been small, and I don't know, I think a lot of people, I get a lot of interesting comments from people, and I think people, so I get people pointing out like knobbly knees and like all of that sort of stuff, and they always have to say, oh, look at her weight, you must do this, you mustn't eat, you must exercise all the time, and I don't know, it's just, yeah, I get a lot of comments like that. And growing up, it was really hard because I didn't fit into any of the trendy clothes. So my sister, she would always be able to get surf stuff and look really trendy, but I am a 6, so I've never been able to fit into surf clothes. I can now, into some, but not very many. And so yeah, I really struggled to keep up with my idea of what was on trend and what was in fashion because I didn't fit into any of the clothes. I was still buying kids' clothes. So making my own clothes has definitely made me more comfortable in my own skin, and it has helped me to find my personal style, which I will talk about in another video soon. But yeah, from that point of view, it is hard being small. People don't kind of think about it in that sense. They just think if you're, bigger, it's a lot harder to find clothes, but if you're smaller, it's very hard. And this is the same with sewing patterns. I find it really hard sometimes because a lot of sewing patterns start at an 8, and I'm not really an 8. Like the sew over patterns, they are just a little bit too big for me. So I do find myself having to make adjustments whenever I make their patterns. And that's fine, but it's a little bit annoying that it's not done for my size. So from that point of view, sewing has been amazing because I actually fit into clothes and I feel more confident wearing clothes that are a bit more trendy, and I can express my personal style a lot more than what I could if I bought things in the shops. I mean, obviously clothes are a little bit better now. They do have smaller sizes, but I am ruined from shopping now. I go into a shop and I just see all the things that I could make and I start pairing them with patterns. So yeah, from that point of view, sewing has been amazing and it has completely changed my life in that aspect. So that's my story. I hope some of you might have resonated with that. It's a very personal thing. Not everybody who sews has got mental illness issues. Not everybody who sews has got body confidence issues, but I think there are a lot of people out there who do, and sewing is just a fantastic way to make you more confident in your own self and also help you through those really tough times. So in terms of what I have sewn for this challenge, I was actually going to do another dress, which seems to be a bit of a trend. People seem to be picking different things, which is really interesting. However, I wanted to sew this dress for the dinner I'm going to tonight, and I love it so much and I feel so good in it. So I thought this was the perfect dress for this video, and I've also finished it in time so I can pop this video up on Sunday. So I will insert some clips and some close-ups for you, but this is the Bondi dress from Tessuti Fabrics. So this is their new dress that they only released a couple of weeks ago. I fell in love with it as soon as I saw it on Instagram. Essentially, it is like a little shift dress. It's so cute. It has inseam pockets, a high neckline, and it is quite short. Like I said, I will show you more close-ups. It has a really cool little back feature. This print is incredible. This is my banana leaf print that I picked up from Spotlight that I was going to make a skirt out of, but I decided it would look really gorgeous in this dress. And this dress is taking me a little bit out of my comfort zone because it is quite a loud print, but I feel like it looks really nice, and especially because I'm a bit tanned at the minute because we've been away, I feel really comfortable in this. It's perfect for the hot weather because it's really flowy, and yeah, I absolutely love it. So there will be a blog post with more photos up of this dress on Thursday, with also a few notes on the pattern, a few things I did differently. And obviously I'll talk about it a little bit more next week in my January makes video. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. We hit 4,000 subscribers the other day, which is absolutely incredible, and I cannot thank you guys enough for your support. Like I said at the beginning of this video, the sewing community is absolutely amazing, and I'm so lucky to have found so many friends from all over the world, and that we can connect in this way. It is truly amazing. So thank you so much, guys. Like I said, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next week. Bye!